I was tending bar at the Imperial Club years ago on St. Patrick's Night when this big old mule came through the door and caused me some kind of fright. I asked, "What you want?" That mule didn't order a drink, but that mountain man a straddling in his back said, "I'll have a double, I think." I poured him a shot, then another, poured 'em both into the same glass, handed it up to that mountain man. "Yep, that mule's just as green as grass." Well, it sort of became a tradition. So many years I couldn't keep track. Every Irish night, there's this big green mule with that mountain man on his back. But that big mule's an old softy, gentle as a pussy willow twig. People come from miles around, see that mule dance the Irish jig. Well, it's St. Patty's night again, but the bartender may get a breather, 'cause I doubt we'll be seeing that big green mule or that mountain man Irish night either. George Kittle for Irish Night, 1991. Stay tuned. Mystery Media Group presents Case File 46.
You are listening to Mystery Media Group.
Yay! Hello, I'm Melissa with Ghost Girl Memoirs.
I'm Mike with Paranormal Treasure Hunter, and you are listening to Destination Mystery. We believe the paranormal is all around us, and every destination is an adventure. We never know what we're going to find in our adventure, but we do know that we'll have an interesting story to tell when we return. We're not going to the same locations or telling the same stories that you've heard over and over. Most of our destinations will be in locations you've never thought to look or investigate or explore. And we hope you will join us in our journey toward discovering the truth.
So the Imperial Club building was built in 1906 and has been home to everything from a general store, a candy store, a clothing store, and a bar. Elmer Duke started the Imperial Club in 1930 during Prohibition, when law prohibited the sale and consumption of alcohol. Most saloons stayed open during Prohibition, serving coffee and playing cards. Prohibition ended in 1933, but 17 years later, gambling became illegal, causing the Imperial Club's owners to move their gambling tables to the basement. The basement was accessible through a trapdoor at the south end of the building. There was a buzzer installed so the bartender could warn those downstairs gambling to be quiet if law enforcement came in. The Imperial Club still has the stairs to the trapdoor, the buzzer, a craps table, and a poker machine in the basement. Every St. Patty's Day, Wilbur, actually, I'm not sure if I said that right, rode his white mule painted green through the Imperial Club. He said it took 18 bottles of food coloring to get the mule green. I wonder why he used food coloring. Wilbur stated that the other mules would ignore Pete when he was painted green, and he would ride his mule down Main Street, waving at everyone along the way. Then he would stride into the bar to enjoy the live band playing for the St. Patty's Day party that they had every year. This is an event that everyone in town enjoyed on St. Patty's Day until Wilbur passed on April 9th, 1991 at the age of 62. And there is a picture of Wilbur on his green mule hanging up in the bar. And I do remember also getting the word mule through the spirit box, and I thought it was referring to like a drink, like a Russian mule or something, but maybe it was referring to the green mule that he was riding. The small town of Ashton, Idaho is host to the oldest all-American dog sled race. The Derby began in 1917. It is held annually on the third weekend in February, and the mascot for the local high school is a husky. He holds several different events during this time, and the whole town is involved. The walls of the Imperial Club holds photos of winners, including Tud Kent, who was the very first winner of the Derby. The club also hosts an annual cowboy poetry contest, and those winners also have their photos hanging on the wall. Hauntings in the club include those of a little girl seen standing outside the street, a woman in white that floats through the room, and a man in a cowboy hat.
Yeah, the cowboy poet that she said usually hung out at the end of the room by the restrooms.
The building's not very big, but they still have like the original cabinet type thing that held the candy for the candy store. Michael, why don't you talk about the basement?
The thing I thought was cool in the basement, they upstairs by the bar, they had a little chute for beer cans, and they had this big machine downstairs that just spent all day crushing beer cans. And man, that had to have been a lot of beer cans to justify a machine that size. It was a dirt floor. Nothing had changed down there in 100 years, I don't think. They had
The
a
old,
craps table and didn't they have an old arcade
it was an
video
old
game too?
poker machine, I think.
Yeah. They had to have been way old.
And then lots of spiders that I was a
Lots of
little bit
spiders.
freaked out about. We started our investigation in the basement. We were really drawn to the corner where the trap door was. And I actually have a video. I didn't capture anything on the video, but it's of you with your thermal pointing that direction because it almost looked like someone was trying to come down the trap door.
It was similar to the prison where the heat signature came up near the door but never came through the door.
Mhm.
And you can kind of see it where it looks like it wanted to come down the stairs just enough you could see the heat signature, but didn't come into view.
But it did set off the REM pod, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, it said the REM pod off.
Yeah, we did put our REM pod on the stairs by that trap door. And then we put the EMF detector on the poker machine. And I think I put the flashlight on the craps table. And then we did an EVP and spirit box session down there. And I do have quite a few audio clips that I don't remember if I even know what all of them are saying. So hopefully we can figure it out together.
There was a spot on the floor that had a really high heat signature, and it was a dirt floor. And I never could figure out why that spot was so much hotter than the rest of the room.
Yeah, it wasn't, I mean, there weren't pipes or wiring or anything there.
No, there's nothing down there on the floor. And if I remember right, none of the workers liked to go down there or had been down there in years. They
Used.
hadn't been touched. Yeah.
Okay, here's the first clip.
Melissa's afraid of the spiders. Can you make sure the spiders stay away from her?
Yes, please. It's like a full sentence, but I have no idea.
To me, it sounded like, okay, I'll tell the spiders to stop.
Oh, I'm going to
I wish it
listen.
were that easy.
Yeah, just this one spot here. Yeah, the first one does sound like okay. That would be nice. That was nice of them. Here's the next one.
Are we talking to more than one person?
There's two voices there. They sound to me like a little girl.
The last one sounds like yes.
I thought the first one sounded like C.
See?
C, like in yes in Spanish.
Are we talking to more than one person?
Yeah, I hear C and yes. Michael, do you remember if you asked anything in Spanish?
I want to say yes, but I don't remember what it was I asked.
I was thinking you did too. Here's the next one. Are you from England? That sounded like a clear yes to me. And I think the reason we asked is because our obelisk had foreigner. Some of the voices that were coming across sounded like they had an English accent. I believe
Yeah.
that's why we asked that question.
Is this the place where we were asking people about the war
Yeah.
and they'd come over from England?
Yeah. And we started directing our questions towards World War II. And that's when we started getting the activity. And that's when the REM pod went off. And here's the next one. Can you come down that trap door? Why should you? You don't have to.
I want to.
Is that what he said the first time or the second time?
That's what I heard the second time.
First one I heard, what door?
Apparently, at the time, I thought he said, "Why should I?" Because I asked.
Hmm.
I hear what door now. Yeah.
But you couldn't open that door anymore.
No, it wasn't there anymore. They sealed off the floor. I mean, the stairs were still there, but the door was gone. So maybe that's why he asked what door. And I was just being dumb and thought I heard something else. Here's the next one. If George is here, can you tell us some poetry? That's the same voice. George was the name of the guy that the owner believed was in the cowboy hat that they would see. He did a lot of cowboy poetry there.
Yeah, because they have his picture on above the bar and stuff too. She was pretty sure it was him.
Yeah, she thought it looked and sounded like him. So I don't know what this says. I'm going to play it one more time.
First part sounds like okay, but the other part, I mean, it's hard to make out.
Found it interesting that, this was on the spirit box and we got the same voice that almost sounds like a full
Yeah.
sentence. So
It's like, you bet. And then, like, he tried to say something.
maybe he was starting to say a poem or trying to, because that's what I asked him to do.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the next one. Can you touch the flashlight on the seat over there? It sounded like a yes.
I would say that was a yes.
I don't think the flashlight ever did come on that night. So maybe I didn't have it set correctly.
Well, they couldn't get down the stairs.
That's true. That's
There was
true.
no door.
It's very possible that I didn't have it on right, but maybe he's like, yeah, I'm touching it, but nothing's happening.
Your flashlight sucks.
Yeah, well, it is pretty cheap. Okay, here's the next one. Can you try coming down the stairs again? What did you hear?
Play it again.
Can you try coming down the stairs again?
I did.
I either thought it said I did or okay, but either one. And I think I asked that right after the REM pod went off. So that would make sense. Okay, here's the next one. Did you build the store?
First one sounds like it said I did not, and the other one sounds like I did.
Yeah, I can hear that. So then the question is, which two spirits were we asking the question to?
Exactly.
All right, here's the next one.
Did you come here after work?
That to me sounds like a little girl.
Yeah, it sounds almost like a scream, though.
Yeah.
She comes there after work
Well,
to take the load off.
I almost wondered, they thought the little girl wanted to come to the candy store or something, that she was attached to the candy store when it was there. But then another part of me thought, well, what if she was there just looking for her dad? I don't know.
Mom sent her to bring dad home.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
That very likely.
I'm going to play this part one more time. I don't know what it says, but to me, it does sound like a little girl. And it could be a scream or a cry. Here's the next one.
Did you gamble down here?
That sounds like a little girl to me, too.
Did she say my daddy?
I don't know. Sounds like two words.
Yeah.
But that definitely cooperates the little girl that they're seeing. Here's the next one. Did you have a family?
It sounds like the same word that the little girl said in the clip before.
Yeah. Did you have a family? I wonder if that's the name of the little girl.
I don't know either, but it sounds like the exact same word as the little girl's voice in the clip before.
Yeah. They're trying to tell us something and we're not smart enough to figure it out.
It's like Takshi, Tashi.
Maybe that's her name.
Yeah, she was like a Natasha and they called her Tashi.
Yeah, maybe. Okay, here's the next one. Did you have a wife? I have no idea. And that
Yeah, I can't make that one out.
it might not even be anything, but it did sound like a voice, and that's why I pulled it out. Here's the next one. Did you leave England to escape the Germans? Did you have to leave in a hurry? I heard a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the next one. Did you like living here in Ashton? I'm going to play that again. Sounds like a 2-syllable word. Wish I knew what that one said. Okay, here's the next one. Did your kids like the candy shop? Any ideas on that one?
I don't know. That one's hard. Sounds like it starts with a G, though.
Sounds like 2 words. I wonder if any of the listeners, the 2 that we have, if if when they listen to these, they're like, you idiots, I can tell exactly what it says.
Yeah, they need to comment on
Yes. If
and
you
post and give us their ideas of what it says.
exactly. If you're listening and you know what it says, please comment. You can leave the comments in our Spotify, and that would be very helpful because sometimes I just have no idea. All right, here's the next one. Do you stay here all the time? The first one to me sounded like a yes.
Mm-hmm.
Second one almost sounds like "Get me out."
Maybe, yeah. Does that second one sound like a little girl? Or maybe
Yeah,
even that woman that they see floating, if she's like stuck to that one wall and never really leaves. I don't know. Maybe it's the woman.
"Let me out" or "Get me out," something like that. But
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like to me on that last one.
definitely interesting. Here's the next one. Are you done talking? Yeah. I think we had gone a while without hearing anything, so we thought maybe they were done. Here's the next one. Why don't you go ahead and have a seat on that chair? Rest for a second. I hear rest.
Yeah.
Maybe it's nothing. I don't know. Here's the next one.
Okay, I just saw that blackout.
Something went in front of it. But why did it not go off?
Not close enough.
It's weird. To me, it sounds like I'm close. Here's the next one. Is there anything that you would like us to know? I heard a yes, but then I wish we could understand what it was that he wanted us to know. Okay, here's the next one. It'll make some pretty colors. Just lets us know that you're here.
It sounds like when you said "pretty colors," it sounds like it says "colors,"
I heard that too.
and then it goes "yes."
Was it being sarcastic?
Yeah, it was like totally excited. "Colors." Yes.
I was asking him to play with the poker machine that the EMF detector was on.
Play it again. Listen really closely.
Oh, it'll make some pretty colors. Just lets us know that you're here. Oh, yes. Oh, too, I'm sure that the machine made a lot of pretty sounds and colors when you won. So maybe he was like, yeah,
Yeah.
I want to win this
Yeah,
poker game.
you're gonna let me win? Yes.
Oh. All right, here's the next one. You hear the static in the background, but you'll hear like a da da da, and it almost sounds like,
Yeah, I was about to say it sounded like a video game or the
yeah,
poker machine.
exactly. And you hear some talking too, but I think that is just part of the radio static. I don't think it's,
Yeah.
but the da da da, that was kind
Yeah,
of,
it sounds like a yep, that sounds like a game.
yeah. And it was asked right after I asked them to touch the machine so it could make some pretty colors. So that was interesting. Okay, this one is, I don't know if we get a voice in this one, but this is where you hear the REM pod go off.
We appreciate your service and what you did.
That's what we asked before the REM pod went off. That almost corroborates to me that we were speaking with a soldier who had served in the war. Here's one more.
Samantha, the little girl that peeks through the window.
We had gotten the name Samantha on the ovulus. And so that's why I was asking about, I said, is Samantha the little girl who peeks through the window?
Samantha, the little girl that peeks through the window.
And I hear a yep. And then that last part almost sounds like a scream or a cry.
Yeah, it's really unintelligible after the yep, but you do hear the yep, and it's a man's voice though that says yep. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. And then it almost sounds like a cry after that. So I wonder if he was the dad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's kind of what made me think that the little girl wasn't just there for the candy. She was looking for someone. That's just my impression.
I was gonna say I had looked up when the first video game poker was available,
Mm-hmm.
and it was 1970s. So that thing in the basement had to have been 40, 50 years old.
At
And
least.
those crap tables were much older than that. 50 years that thing's been sitting there.
Untouched.
Untouched, yep.
That's crazy. All right, here's the next one. I don't remember her name, but she was the owner's daughter, is the one talking.
Something scratched back here.
She said something scratched back here. And then you hear a voice that almost sounds like, to me, it sounds like scratch back or something. And then I don't know what the other part says.
Something scratched back here.
I almost sounds like, yeah, I did.
To me, I think it sounds like a laugh.
Oh, is it a laugh?
Scratch back
And then a laugh?
and then a laugh.
Didn't she get poked or scratched or something over there?
I remember her saying that there was a lot of noises coming from that back corner that she was standing in.
I
Right.
want to say she did get touched or something because she like jumped and was like coming farther into the room. She's like, oh goodness.
Was that like right after she heard the sounds in the corner?
I think so. Something fell.
All right, here's the next one.
I can see you're figuring out how to touch the green light.
That was the EMF detector that I was referring to. It was going off.
That's good. How about the red light on the stairs?
I tried to, the first one, but I don't know about the second one.
It's jacked.
It's jacked. That's what it sounds like. Can you jack or it's jacked? Here's the next one.
You want to come play the poker machine? Can you show us how it works?
I thought maybe it said yes.
Sounds like a yes.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then here's the next one.
Was this a hangout spot for you?
Either Spot or Scott.
Yeah.
Here's the next one.
I think we're safe right now if you want to go ahead and play the poker machine.
I don't know about that one, but I again, I hear a little girl.
It's that same voice.
Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like safe.
Oh, see, and I hear please.
Oh, please.
That's what too much
go.
sweets does to your voice.
Could be please. Maybe she's saying please and the male
Please.
saying no.
Please stop.
Oh. And then we kept going. Jeez, we're idiots. All right.
You can only work off what you hear.
I know, that's true.
I was about to say, unless she's saying please stop to playing the gambling games.
Oh, maybe. Maybe she's asking her dad to stop so he'll come home.
So you can have money for candy.
Well, if he was a soldier in the war and he had some PTSD and stuff, and he was trying to deal with it in his own way by spending a lot of time there. Here's the next one.
What did you have in your store?
It almost sounded like candy.
Oh, yeah.
I heard a 2-syllable word, candy.
Here's the next one.
What part of England?
I hear Kent.
Yeah.
I do think he's answering.
Oh, I think he's in Worcestershire, but he only got the little bit in the middle.
Maybe. Yeah. That's definitely what it is. Here's the next
I
one.
just can't hear it.
What was this room originally used for?
I don't know what that says.
Session.
7.
Recession.
Maybe. Prohibition. I don't know. Recession. Yeah. I don't know. Here's the next one.
So what would you like us to let other people know about this bar in Ash?
First one to me almost sounds like hola.
It does sound like Spanish hola.
Here's the next one, and this one was very clear. We know this one.
Were you born in Idaho?
Idaho.
Were you born in Idaho?
That one was crazy. Here's the next one.
Why did you have to leave so quickly? That just flashed blue.
I was referring to the REM pod there.
Left to left, where you are. Bombing? Is that why you had to leave so quick? Aborted. Did you have to abort your mission?
I ask a question, and then the red pod flashes blue. And then I ask another question, and I hear the word bombing. And then Michelle got 2 words on the ovulus. I'm just going to make this a little louder.
Why did you have to leave so quickly? That just flashed blue. Left to left, where you are. Bombing? Is that why you had to leave so quick? Aborted. Did you have to abort your mission?
The 2 words we got on the ovulus were aborted and dawn. So it almost seemed like he had to leave early because of the bombing, and there was a mission that had to be aborted in the early dawn. What do you think? Maybe I'm just pulling things out of thin air, but that's kind of what it seemed like.
It very likely could be.
Here's one last clip.
What can you tell us about the woman in white? What is her connection to this place?
It dropped 5 degrees. 7. 9 degrees.
So I don't know if you could hear all that, but I asked about the woman in white, and Michael was talking about, he said the temperature just dropped 2 degrees, and then it dropped 7, and then it dropped 9. But I thought that was interesting that when we started asking about the woman in white, the temperature started dropping and dropping quick. And I do remember at the very end, Michelle and I were freezing. It was so cold.
It was really cold. But that second
Cold.
voice, when you guys are counting down how much it's dropping, it sounds like it says dropping.
Yeah, I heard that too. And another interesting thing, I don't know if this is, related at all, but there is a woman in white who is supposedly an Indian princess that's seen quite often over by Mesa Falls. And there's a whole legend behind that. And this Imperial Club is not far from Mesa Falls. And I do know that is an area where the Derby runs up that road, I think. Maybe not every year, but on some years it does. I don't know.
Didn't that theater also have a lady in white that used to come and walk over to it?
The Opera House?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he talked about it.
Maybe
she'd come over from the bar and come to the Opera House.
Yeah, maybe she is just a frequent visitor through the whole town for some reason.
Not much of a town, so she's got to move around.
It's true. There's not much
some excitement.
That's true. Very true. But I do think that the owner's cowboy friend, who they thought his name was George, was a frequent visitor there. I think we could corroborate that. And then I do feel like we may have been speaking to a soldier who served in the war, and either he was from England or he was stationed in England. And I think possibly the little girl was his daughter. That's my conclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ties all the strings together.
That is our investigation of the Imperial Club, and we had a really fun time, minus the spiders. The owner was very gracious and helpful, and it was really nice of her to let us come over there.
It was. There was a good interaction with the owners and everything.
Playing with my thermal imager upstairs.
Uh-huh.
And remember that lady that came over and wanted to see her hands in the thermal imager?
Uh-huh.
And they were just as black as could be. They were so cold.
I remember that. You're like,
and
your hands are dead.
Yeah. Then I showed him on her feet and it was dead. So she starts to take her shirt off. And do you remember that?
Yes.
What about this? Somebody ran over. No, now it's time for you to sit down.
Yeah. She was funny. She wanted to know how it worked.
The bar was still open while we were there.
Yeah, it was. There wasn't very many people there, though. I think they were mostly family members, but
too drunk to go home, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see how that would happen on occasion. I don't want to go home. Don't make me go home. I mean, we did some investigating upstairs too, but I don't remember getting much.
No.
We didn't pull anything. I didn't pull anything off of the EMF and spirit box session that we did up there. But I do feel like there's definitely some either residual energy downstairs or something, because you could feel it when you walked down there. And that would have been where all the excitement was, when people were trying to hide their alcohol from prohibition and trying to hide their gambling from the law enforcement when it was outlawed as well. So if you enjoy our show, please like, subscribe, and leave a 5-star review. For more information, you can visit www.destination-mystery.com. Find your own destination
and solve the mystery.